Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Immersion's Deep Dive Podcast. I'm Laila.
I'm Kessler.
I'm McKenna.
And I'm Jade.
And we are so excited to be back for our next episode today.
Yeah.
We have two brand new guests. So we have Kessler and Jade. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Say something special.
Oh.
You can, say your, I don't know. Are you excited to be here today?
Very.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess we can introduce our topic. For today's episode, we decided to discuss the importance of self-confidence and esteem in ourselves through God. More specifically, how can we remind ourselves of our worth despite everything that the world may try to put into our minds?
Today's scripture comes from Psalm 139, 13, 14 through 14. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well.
So now we're just going to hop into our discussion, guys, and we're going to start with a pretty simple question. What things do you allow to shape your confidence or the value that you give to yourself?
I definitely say social media is one of them. Yeah. Because if you're scrolling on Instagram and you see somebody else's post, and you can be like, well, why don't I look like that? Why don't I have that?
Yeah.
It can make you very insecure.
I think social media fuels comparison, and you're just constantly looking at everybody, but it's not a real reality because if you're looking at people's stories or posts, a lot of it's filters and edited, and so it just kind of warps the sense of reality that you have of what everybody else might look like, and I think that kind of really affects your confidence. But also I think social media, the hype of social media, when you post and everybody's liking your post and commenting, it fills you up a little bit, and you're like, okay, I appreciate that. And so I think that is something that also shapes your confidence, but in a good way, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like since I don't really use social media like that, my own standards for my own performance, according to what I believe I should be doing, I feel like that shapes my self-confidence a whole bunch. So if I don't do super well on something, I kind of get a beating for that, my own self beating for that. And I know I shouldn't do that, but I can't help it sometimes,
Yeah, I think personal self-confidence shaping is a really big thing, because some people are really insecure and they make themselves insecure just by just looking in the mirror, and they're like, oh, I wish I had this, or I wish I could change this. So yeah, I think people just shape themselves.
Yeah, that's very true. And I would also say, like Laila said, I would say accomplishments or the level of success. If you get an award at a school, or you get an A on a test and you're I am the smartest person in the world, and then you fail a quiz and you don't do good on your homework or whatever, then it really bumps down your confidence, the value that you give to academic success. But also I would also say your relationships. I think sometimes friends may treat me a certain way and it makes me kind of question the value that I have in their lives, but then sometimes your friends treat you you're the most important person in the world, and then you're I have value in this person's life. Does anybody have anything else for that question?
No.
Okay. Do you find that you are harder on yourself than on other people or on you?
Yes.
I'd say yes.
Yeah. Definitely.
It depends, because sometimes I just I really don't care. Other people they're hard on me, but I'm just it's whatever.
No, I'm very hard on myself. I think I'm my biggest critic. I'm constantly kind of, not in a good way, but I mean not in a bad way, but this is gonna sound weird, but I really hold myself to really high standards, and sometimes that just creates a lot of pressure on myself. And so I think that I'm more I give more criticism to myself than anybody else does to me.
I feel that when I measure myself according to what other people do, when they perceive me at the very least, when I measure up to what they think of me, I tend to be harder on myself, because sometimes my perception of their standards of me get warped to be way higher than they actually are. So when they tell me I did good on something, I'm what in the world? I did awful on that, because my standards are way higher than theirs. So I think I'm way harder on myself.
Yeah, I'm definitely way harder on myself. People are oh, Jade, you're so pretty. Oh my gosh. And I'm what are you talking about? I could be at my house, going somewhere. I got an outfit. I'm dang, I look good. And And then somebody, if I like go to school and somebody's like, "Oh, why are you wearing that?" I'm like, because I wanted to. Like their opinion doesn't really matter, but like if I really think about it like deeply, then it might matter later.
It's like that you don't think about it in the moment, and then you're just like chilling by yourself, and then you think about it. You're like,
Like,
what did that
wait.
person say to me? I feel like also I'm hard on myself because I feel like when you're thinking of yourself, it's easier to pick out your own flaws than anybody else. Like, no, I won't. You guys could have like the biggest insecurities, and I would never notice because you just pick out your own flaws that people don't really pay attention to at all. But anything else for that question?
And some people just be picking out your flaws, like, why do you have this or why do you have that? And I'm like, like, what am I supposed to do about it?
I think sometimes people's opinions kind of affect you in ways that you wouldn't. Like, even if you don't want them to, they kind of affect you in ways that you wouldn't.
And even though it could be a minor thing, like what they're saying, it wouldn't be very important to them. They're just pointing it out because they might be a friend or a family member, and they care about you, and therefore care about you not embarrassing yourself. Yeah. But it might really take a huge blow on you because you were probably insecure about that anyway, and you're like, oh my gosh, now I have to fix this. But yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Do you guys find it difficult to have self-confidence? And I would say it just depends for me. I think it depends on like the kind of mood I'm in. Because sometimes I feel like really confident. Like I get ready and I'm like, I feel great about myself. And then like another day I might be like, I want to hide in my room and not leave. And so I think it just depends on kind of the mood that I'm in. But I would say, yes, I kind of do. Not every day though.
I think every day I start with like nothing in mind in terms of my opinion of myself. I think it gets shaped positively throughout the day. It's more like a base level rather than low confidence. It's more like nothing is there, if that makes sense.
That does.
Yeah.
I don't really find it hard. I don't know. I'm just me. That's good. What I gotta do.
I mean, it depends, because like some days I'm like, you know what? I look good. I could literally be in pajamas. I'm like, I look good. But then like I can be in pajamas and be like, why do I look like that? Like why? And other days it's just like I just look good and I just do.
I think even if there's like nothing there from yourself that you can say is super good about yourself, I think at least me, I can always say like, I'm living, I am a child of God, and that is good enough for me today. So
that actually goes right into our next question. What do you guys think it means to be created by God? And we're created in God's image. So I would say like, God cannot make mistakes. Like he did not make any mistakes when he's creating us. And I think that kind of helps me to have some confidence. Sometimes it's like, well, he made me like this specific way in his image. And so it feels kind of like disrespectful to God if I'm like constantly bashing his creation. But I would say, that's what it means to be created by God for me.
I think to be created by God means that you're art. You're literally the masterpiece that he created, and each and every single one of us are a masterpiece that he created. And I feel like we should treat ourselves as that, even if it's not like hyping yourself up every day to be like, oh my gosh, I'm a masterpiece, I should get all the respect that I deserve. Even if you're not like saying that out loud, I feel like you should take care of yourself as though you are.
I mean, kind of like McKenna said, God doesn't make mistakes, so there's not really a point in like beating yourself up about anything, because in the end you're perfect and God made you like the way he wanted to.
If you were created by God, you were automatically perfect. Like you're just perfect. Like you could be a model, you could be a beggar on the streets, you're just perfect either way. Some people are just less fortunate, but you're perfect.
Okay. Why is it important to treat ourselves with honor and respect?
Because, like I said, we're respecting God's creation. We're respecting ourselves, and if we take care of ourselves, that's the ultimate show of respect. So even if you can't like do anything that day, even telling yourself like, I am a child of God, so therefore I won't try and badmouth myself today. Like my abilities, my appearance, anything about myself, I'll try not to say anything too critical about it.
Yeah. And I also think if you carry yourself with like respect and confidence, other people will view that confidence on you, and like they'll realize that you should be like, you'll be treated with respect. I feel like if you carry yourself with respect, if you carry yourself like with your doubt and your insecurity like wearing on your face, that's what people like will view from you, I think.
I kind of forgot the question.
Why is it important to treat ourselves with honor and respect?
Oh, because I don't know.
Do you want to go?
Let me think a little bit.
Okay. That's a difficult question.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's easier. Well, maybe. Why is it important to be secure in ourselves and confident in our abilities?
Because we can do amazing things.
Yeah.
We can do great things in this world.
And I feel like if you're secure in yourself, nothing anybody can say to you will make you doubt yourself or your abilities.
And God gave us certain talents that we are called to use to serve Him and give Him glory and to bring other people into His light. So if we're confident in ourselves and our abilities, then that allows us to grow even more in what we can do.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like if we know how like that God made us in His image, then we're gonna like want to serve Him, and like it's not gonna matter what anybody else thinks, that we're doing it for God.
Because everybody has like a gift, and everybody has a gift and everybody has a purpose for God's kingdom. And so I think it is really important just to be secure and like comfortable serving and like in your abilities for God, but just in general, like in life, it's just important to be comfortable in yourself, because nobody will be able to knock you down. Like,
yeah, because people are trying to like change themselves with like surgery or like I don't know what else people do,
like
but
filters.
And it's like, but like, why? If you were good before, because some surgeries don't turn out like the way you want it to, and it might turn out kind of bad. Like it might turn out really bad, and you're like, why did I do this? Like I look better before than I look now, and then they regret to get surgery, and they can't fix it.
Yeah, I feel like especially in the like what we live in today, it's like you have to be the beauty standard and you have to like always be at your best. And I think that is something that if you aren't comfortable with like and confident in yourself, that is going like that will destroy your self-image and the view that you have on yourself. But does anybody have anything else for that question?
Nope.
Okay, so that was our last question. What do you guys think are like some key points from this discussion?
We are created in God's image, and we are perfect that way.
And everybody has value and everybody has a purpose.
Don't worry about what other people think about you. Worry about what God thinks about you.
Yeah.
Be confident in yourself and others and your ability to do great things, because we are all beautiful. You too.
Okay, so again, I'm McKenna.
I'm Laila.
I'm Kessler.
And I'm Jade.
And thanks for joining us for Deep Dive.
Bye.
Bye.